Hey, thank you so much for chiming in to this video presentation about Spirit's Joy Foundation. My name is James Dickerson, and I'm really privileged and honored to have the opportunity to share with you today. Spirit's Joy Foundation was created to honor the life of Spirit C. Butler, who was born May 2nd, 2008. um, Spirit's pain and untimely departure from us inspired the development of this foundation. She was a happy and joyful little girl who loved playing, swimming, singing, and watching funny TV shows just like any other kid. But she experienced extreme physical and cyberbullying from other students, and Spirit lost her joy and she left this life by suicide and at the age of 14 years old. The Spirit's Joy Foundation was created by her father, and that's me. My name is James A. Dickerson, and the I had the privilege of being Spirit's dad, and now I have to be the person who spearheads initiatives that give Spirit a legacy for her life. And so that's what we're doing here. This organization is dedicated to honoring Spirit's memory, but at the same time doing it by um, working on conditions that are all too common today. Here's one of the main things. Just like Spirit, a lot of other students are dealing with bullying. Do you know that 4.7 million students last year, stayed away from school? They actually skipped school at some point in the year. Some point in the school year, 4.7 million students skipped school. Here's a bigger one. A half a million of those kids, they skipped school many times due to bullying. These kids literally did not want to go to school because they were concerned that someone was going to bully them. About 20% of students ages 12 to 18 experience bullying nationwide. And among the students ages 12 to 18 who reported being bullied at school during the school year, 15% were bullied online or by text message. While the vast majority of those who were bullied do not die by suicide, research does indicate that persistent bullying can lead to or worsen feelings of isolation, rejection, exclusion, and despair, as well as depression and anxiety, which can contribute to suicidal behavior. And this is what happened to my beautiful daughter, Spirit. Suicide is a bigger issue than people realize. If just one child dies by suicide, that's one too many. But here in the United States today, 5,000 young people complete suicide in the US every year. So, suicide now is the third leading cause of death of young people between the ages of 15 and 24. The third leading cause of death. And each year, there are approximately 10 youth suicides for every 100,000 kids. So that means that each day, there are approximately 12 youth suicides. Every 2 hours and 11 minutes, folks, a person under the age of 25 completes a suicide. And in the past 60 years, the suicide rate has quadrupled for males 15 to 24 and has doubled for females of the same age group. And for every completed suicide by a youth, it is estimated that 100 to 200 attempts are actually made. That is what's going on, and I will call that a crisis. That's why Spirit's Joy Foundation mission statement reads like this: that as strong advocates for respecting the humanity of our children, We work to end bullying, cyberbullying, and teen suicide by planning, producing, and promoting empowering initiatives that reinforce the village that it takes to raise one child. That's what we're doing with Spirit's Joy Foundation, and these are the people that are doing it. I told you who I am. I am the president and founder of this foundation. And what I decided to do was to speed things up and at the same time solidify the structure and make it a very strong organization from day one. So we're building a brand new structure, but on a solid and proven foundation. And that is by partnering with Mr. and Mrs. Bishop and Mrs. Mike Robinson and Jennifer Robinson, who respectively are the founders and co-founders of City Hope International, and particularly the City Hope St. Louis portion of City Hope is responsible for being the number one provider of homeless services in the Midwest right now. And so they have a very strong fiduciary responsibility um, level. And so I decided to partner with them so that we don't have to worry about Spirit's Joy Foundation having its financials in order. These folks have already done a great job at that. And so Spirit's Joy Foundation and all of its programs will proudly operate under the 501c3. That's the tax, the tax deductibility of your donations will be enforced because we have this 501c3 in place through City Hope St. Louis, and so we're grateful for them. They will be handling all of our accounting as well as our human resources, and so cityhopestl.org is where you can find out more about that organization. And I encourage you to do so after viewing this information. Here's some of our key principles that we stand on. One is relevance. A chief aim of our organization is to be practical and socially applicable in our approach. That means that if it doesn't help kids in this present time, it won't be implemented. This is a standard by which we will operate. We will always be relevant, and we'll never become a dinosaur of an organization. Long after I've passed from this place, the people that will be here 200 years from now, but as we pray and hope, and we will work diligently to make sure that this work is not needed 200 years from now. But if it is, this organization will still be relevant for whatever is the pressing need of the hour. Humanity. Humanity, listen, everyone has God-given right to be, to just be. And we embrace and encourage individuality. We celebrate diversity, and we defend the freedom of expression by all people, which is one of the things that people get bullied about, right? Is their individuality and their differences. And, people are being called all kinds of disrespectful and hurtful names because we lack humanity. And it's a very, very serious deficit of humanity. And so we stand on that. Empowerment. We're guided by our respect for the individual's need to feel in control of their own life. So we endeavor to develop duplicable strategies for personal achievement. And we want to make sure that the children and families who participate in the programs that we're developing through Spirit's Joy Foundation, that they find themselves being empowered. And that means that they can, duplicate whatever strategies they learn with us, and they can move on and live a healthy and happy and prosperous life long after they've moved on and beyond our foundation's need, or the need for our foundation services. Solidarity. Unity is a major key to strengthening the village that it takes to raise one child. So collaboration with other organizations who are committed to the betterment of life for our children is our strong commitment. I could tell you now that there are organizations like the Megan Meyer Foundation that we will strongly partner with, because they've already, tackled a lot of the things related to the subject matters for which Spirits Joy Foundation stands because of what happened with Megan Myers so many years ago when her mom, Tina, became a pioneering leader in this fight against bullying and cyberbullying and teen suicide. And so we will partner with them because of the work that they're doing. And the things that we're doing is a little different than them. That's why the solidarity is important, because every part needs to be in place in order for us to get the work done. So what are we doing with Spirits Joy Foundation? Here's one of the biggest things. Effective immediately, Camp Joyful Spirit will come into play. Camp Joyful Spirit. We're calling, now you notice the word joy showing up and the word spirit, because obviously our daughter, her name was Spirit, and her joy, was taken away from her through the things that she experienced in her lifetime. And so we endeavor to give this joy to other people, as long as we can and at the highest level of intensity that we can. And so we decided to open up Camp Joyful Spirit. It's, it's for the ideal camper who has been bullied or cyberbullied, who've experienced the horrors that Spirit experienced in her own life, but they're going to get a chance to have a bully-free environment designed for them exclusively, and they will be able to meet and talk with counselors, and they're going to experience a lot of fun, and it's going to be a very empowering event. Yes, we're planning to overwhelm our campers with games and activities, outings, and lots of wonderful, delicious snacks. And we're going to empower them by offering programming in the CGS environment. And so, and that's going to happen a few different ways. One is our camp is going to be split into two parts. There's typically a summer camp. It's either a way camp in the woods, or it's a day camp at some facility. My children have enjoyed going to a lot of day camps, and I remember growing up, I went to a way camp. So what Camp Joyful Spirit did was we incorporated both, and so we're going to have 6 weeks of day camp, and it'll culminate into a week of away camp. And so our children who will camp with us will experience both experiences, as well as have a chance to learn something very unique for a summer camp. And here it is. Camp Joyful Spirit will teach children how to tell their own story. That's right. Every camper who attends Camp Joyful Spirit will develop the confidence that comes from learning the art and science of public speaking. I've been a public speaker my whole adult life, and I could tell you this, that the level of confidence that I get to live with because of my public speaking skills is I can't even measure it, but I could tell you this, that children who learn public speaking, they get the benefit in a multitude of ways. Here's four of them. One, it improves their communication skills, and that's pretty obvious. But two, it helps to develop leadership skills. Public speaking is one of the greatest leadership skills that they'll be able to use in their life. And three, here's a big one, it'll boost their self-confidence and their self-esteem. Folks, this is huge, and this is the number one reason why I chose to put public speaking as the hallmark for what our children will gain from attending Camp Joyful Spirit, as well as it helps them to overcome fear and anxiety, which is the leading causes of how they end up in such a bad place as the bullying and the things that they have experienced persist. And we're going to help them to develop their own voice and tell their own stories. And those among the children who actually really take a liking to the speaking and get really good at it, well, we're going to invite them to become one of Spirit's voices. So it's my personal vision to transform those who showed up to the camp as victims we're going to transform them into champions. And we're going to also take those champions and place them in front of other students. And that way we can transform bullies into humanitarians. And so that's why I really wanted to use this camp to build an army of verbal gladiators, verbal gladiators. So Spirit's Voices are a group of children who will travel around the country on a national speaking circuit and stand in front of schools. And like I said, hopefully what happens is when those students who have been bullying other kids listen to these children speak boldly and confidently and passionately after learning those skills at Camp Joyful Spirit and continuing to hone those skills as a member of Spirit's Voices, those children will transform bullies into humanitarians. And that's really our end game here. Ultimately, what happens is after the children leave Camp Joyful Spirit and we don't see them again for a while, we want to be able to keep everyone connected. So I decided that we would develop a mobile app for the organization. It's not just an app that gives us the ability to brand Camp Joyful Spirit or Spirit's Joy Foundation. This app has many features and benefits, and already have developers in place and people like that that will help us to make this happen. And so this year we want to release our own mobile app. Some of the features and benefits will be these: social networking. So there'll be a social network that'll be exclusively for kids who have been targeted by bullies. And so if they've attended our camp, well, they definitely have been one of those. And so every one of our camp attendees will automatically receive the opportunity to have a profile developed inside of our social network. They can go in themselves just like they do any other platform today, just like how, the Facebook, Instagram, or any of those, how they work. Well, we'll have similar features where they can post their own pictures, video content, and things like that. This is a bully-free world, and so there'll be no cyberbullying whatsoever taking place inside this app, and so our kids can have that cyberbullying-free safe space, as well as they'll have a chance to stay connected to the other campers that they met, during Camp Joyful Spirit, or any youth that they met while attending any of Spirit's Joy's Foundation's programs. And so, another feature and benefit is that it gives an outlet for the voices of Spirit, or Spirit's Voices, to be seen and heard speaking while they're out on tour. So we'll be loading those speeches and different activities up into the app, and the kids will get a chance to go on and stay connected and stay active, and to listen to and enjoy the content that's being shared, positive content. Counselors will be able to be accessed through the app, as well as will help us to maintain high enrollment for the camp and offers opportunity for future revenue streams that may come in the form of us having some type of swag or merchandise that we can offer to the parents who may want to share this app with other people, so that we can continue to keep this thing up and going for the maximum long term and the benefit of our youth. And so that's one of the biggest things that we're doing right now. And so our project roadmap, as it stands right now, is January 2023. And as of right now, we're looking to secure a location that will give us the ability to have camp this year. And so we're looking for a location, and we're looking to recruit core team members. We already have some. We're going to be looking for more core team members who will help us with developing the programming, the policies and procedures, marketing, etc., for Camp Joyful Spirit. Then we're going to do a soft launch event coming up very soon. If you donate to our foundation now, then you get a chance to get invited to the soft launch event. It's going to be very nice, live entertainment, food, and you're going to receive even more news about things that we have planned to do through this organization. And you also get a chance to give input, which is a big, big, big deal to us. We want it. Then registration will happen in the spring. So early spring, as soon as we cross over into like late March, then we'll be opening up for our campers to be registered. And we're looking for 100 kids to register within the first, or for this first camping season this year. Of course, we'll continue to grow after that. And we do and have a vision for this to be a nationwide initiative, just like other nationwide camps, because this is not a St. Louis issue. This is a national issue, and so we wanted to do this around the nation. Camp will begin in June of 2023. The doors will be open as we welcome kids into Camp Joyful Spirit for the first time. And so we're really excited about all of that. Our funding model, like a lot of other nonprofit organizations, yes, we will be accepting corporate and private in-kind donations. And I am asking you to make a donation right now. But ultimately, there will be some fee-based programs and services. We strive to maintain the that the camp can be as free as possible. Ultimately, hopefully, we can make it free to all, but and that depends on our level of donations. And so, the corporate sponsored ticketed events will help us to fund things, and then where you see it says selling and drop shipping essential products. Well, that's an area of expertise for myself. And so we're definitely going to be doing that to create an opportunity for people to share essential products, everyday things that people need, one can't live without. And the proceeds will go to fund Camp Joyful Spirit and other Spirits Joy Foundation initiatives. And so our funding model will continue to evolve. But I want you to know that currently, right now, we are accepting donations, and you get a chance to be one of the first people to donate. The very first person that gave to Spirits Joy Foundation is a beautiful gentleman in Houston, Texas, named Mr. David Emanitier. He is a very accomplished entrepreneur. I'm sharing that information because I'm so grateful that I didn't ask him. He just stepped up and offered it because he heard about what had happened with Spirit, but then he found out directly from me what I intended to do in response to the horrors that our family has now endured. You know, what I ask you to do now is help us to end teen suicide, to help us to end bullying and cyberbullying, to help us to spread awareness about youth mental health, as well as to improve the outcomes for our children so that they can move on to live strong and active and peaceful and harmonious and beautiful and loving lives. And it'll be better for our whole society. This is our vision. The speed of your gifts do matter because we need your money right now. Every dime that you give is going to help us to get all of our initiatives off the ground. And immediately, the only initiative we're focusing on is, in fact, Camp Joyful Spirit and the development of the app, where the children will, for free, get a chance to go there and stay connected and be in a bully-free world. And so, spiritsjoy.com, you can go to spiritsjoy.com and make your donation. Or if you're right now, you're probably viewing this video on one of the platforms where we're accepting donations, then go ahead and just click the button and give right now. And in the process of this, I ask that you give a little bit more than money. I ask that you would give your prayers. If you're a praying person, please pray for Mary. Mary is Spirit's mom. She's a very beautiful and wonderful woman that I was very blessed to have a child with. And Mary is a mother, and she has grieved especially hard through the loss of our beautiful daughter. Folks, at the end of all of this, we're all just human beings. We do hurt, and we do ache, and we're all dealing with this the best that we can. And I ask that you will help us to deal with it by praying, and yes, by giving. Thank you so much for listening and for viewing this information. And I look forward to helping you and your children to achieve your dreams.